Well, I just recently returned from the Wind River Range of Wyoming, where we got to see some of the most rugged, beautiful terrain, but also was able to test out the Zoleo satellite communication device miles and miles from any sort of cell tower or cell service. All right, so again, hopefully you guys can see this. I'll try and brighten it up if I can. No service. Got our Zoleo powered up, and I'm gonna check in with Ashley. Ashley just got back to me. She said that she just hadn't seen it. She was busy with the kiddos, but she responded. Sorry she missed it. Hopefully you guys can see that. This thing is bomb. We've been able to text our spouses, let them know where we are, let them know that we're doing okay, checking in with the fam, and obviously having that emergency SOS is super nice to have. Guys, I'm very excited to share with you my findings after having field tested this Zoleo device through all kinds of different terrain this summer in much of the Western United States. We've been able to use this a bunch. I'm going to share with you my findings, the capabilities, and help you better determine and understand what a satellite communicator can do for you and what particularly this Zoleo has to offer and all of the features that it has. And also just kind of help you understand what you're getting with a satellite communications device, regardless if you're someone who loves to do outdoor activities like hunting, through hiking, backpacking, but possibly your job requires you to be in locations that don't have good cell coverage. This is going to give you the opportunity to connect not only with loved ones, but possibly business clients and people that you need to communicate with for work. And finally, in an emergency situation, be able to send off your GPS coordinates in an SOS format to not only first responders, but to your loved ones. So right out of the gate, I want to touch on the two different ways that you can use the device. Now, you can use the free downloadable app through your phone, and that can manipulate every feature of the Zoleo device, from the check-in to the SOS, as well as messaging back and forth, and a few other features we're going to touch on briefly. Now, if for some reason the battery were to die or you were not able to get to your cell phone, you can easily use the device itself to do check-ins and the SOS feature. Now guys, for me, the two buttons, the SOS and check-in, are huge selling points, because regardless if my phone is powered up and has juice or not, I can use these two features. And because I am going throughout the entire country full-time RVing, I'm doing backpacking and hiking trips all the time where I'm in very unfamiliar terrain, and it gives my wife and I the peace of mind that when I go out with Tommy the trail dog or by myself and some trail I've never been on before and some environment I'm not familiar with, I am able to not only check in with her, but also in an emergency, communicate to her the SOS and let her know that I'm in serious trouble, but also send that out to that search and rescue center that can then communicate and start getting search and rescue to my location. So that is a massive peace of mind for those of you who do outdoor adventuring, I believe. And what's really cool with the check-in feature, you hit the button, and again, you can operate it through your phone as well if you want to, but you hit the button. I have predetermined that the message is going to go to my wife. You can pick a person that the check-in is going to go to, and it's going to text them a message with not only a simple thing that says, hey, I'm doing okay, but it's going to have my GPS coordinates as well as a Google Maps link. We're going to do a check-in. So we got our little check-in button right here. So that's going to send her a GPS coordinates of where we are and letting her know, hey, we're okay. So there we go. Okay, so when it does that, it's telling me that it is acquiring our GPS coordinates. It could be a couple minutes. When I did it last time, it took it about 3-4 minutes to do that and then send the text. So we'll see when that goes through. It is 8:02. Okay, so she just responded and said, yes, got your location. And it's 8:05 according to my watch. So awesome. This bad boy is working. And based off of the two spills that we had today, I mean, better than ever to have something like this. And if for some reason they didn't hear from me for a few days and they were getting somewhat concerned and maybe something very bad had happened to me and I was not able to activate the device because I'd been knocked unconscious or something like that, then they will have at least my last GPS coordinates from the last time I communicated with them on a check-in. So that's an awesome feature. Then the SOS feature is huge because I can open up the device. It has this little protective door that you pop open, and then you have access to your SOS button. And there are simple instructions on the back of the device right there explaining how to use it. So even in a pinch, if you forgot, or maybe someone came upon you, or you had a friend or family member who was not super familiar with the device itself, they would at least know how to activate the SOS. And once you activate it, it will send out your GPS coordinates with an emergency message, not only to 2 people that you can pick, that, so in this case, my wife and my mom are the 2 people who would be getting that text message, letting them know this is a serious emergency, this is my GPS coordinates, I need help, but it will also then go to the search and rescue center that is nationwide, that will then begin to communicate and get people to my last known coordinates. So that is huge that it has those 2 capabilities that are right there on the device, regardless if your phone is powered up or not. And if you want to test out the SOS feature, you can do that by simply filling out a form and sending it in and scheduling a time to test it alongside with the search and rescue center, so that they know that this is a test. You know, you time it, and they communicate with you, and you can see that it functions and operates properly. Now on to the Bluetooth pairing and using your phone and all the extra features that come on top of those 2 basic check-in and SOS capabilities that, again, you can manipulate through the phone as well if you wish. But what's awesome is that with the free Zoleo app, you can download it. It is very intuitive. It just took me moments to get the whole thing set up, and you can encourage those of people in your life that you know you're going to be messaging a lot through this device, in this case my wife, to download the free app as well. Now what's awesome is that she doesn't have to have one of these devices for me to communicate with her. So here's just one other example. We're actually passing through Colorado, my home state, but we are on the way to the Southwest to escape the colder conditions as we full-time RV. And I'm here for, like a week or so, and I came up to one of my favorite spots, one of my blade boot camps, where there's tons of wood, where I can test out hatchets and tomahawks and big blades and, do that. And there is no service where I'm at, just so you guys can see that right there. No service. Got the Zoleo. And, God forbid, maybe I injure myself, as we're testing today, something like that, and I got to get help, or message Ashley just to let her know, everything's okay, and hey, I'm heading home now, whatever it is. So I'm going to go ahead and send a message here, just to let her know I've arrived and that we're going to start testing any minute now. Okay, so there we go. Send. Sorry, I'm trying to do this all with the camera. So there we go. So we'll give it a minute or 2, and we'll see how long. It's 10:24 right now when I sent it. We'll see how long it takes to get it back. All right, I love this thing. So it is now 10:26, so it's been 2 minutes, and just got one back here. Love you, babe. Doing great. So fantastic. Nobody else does. Only me, the original recipient, with the original number. Now it's going to generate your own personal number that's going to stay with you for the life of the device, which is awesome. And that number will be different than what's on your cell phone. So you need to tell people, if you're going to be regularly messaging maybe a client or something like that, hey, this is my Zoleo number, so that they know where it's coming from, or tell them, hey, this is so-and-so, in this case Aaron, through my Zoleo, letting you know that I'll be there in 10 minutes, or I'm an hour delayed because there's, a road closure in this canyon and I have no coverage. So those are aspects that are really beneficial. And we were actually able to do that on the recent backpacking trip, where my brother and my buddy Chris were able to message their wives with this device and be able to communicate with them and let them know that we were doing okay and everything was going all right. And it was just amazing that the whole crew could communicate with their spouses and loved ones in a way that we never were able to do before in certain environments, even though their spouses had not downloaded the app. So that's just an amazing feature in and of itself. The main benefit to communicating back and forth through the app is that you can do up to 1,047 characters in a message. So you can basically write a novel if you would like. Now, if you don't use that and you're doing it through email or SMS, then email is about 200 characters and SMS is about 160 characters per message that you're limited to. Now, what's also really cool is that this is a smart device, and it can save you a little bit of money on your subscription fees that we'll touch on here in just a moment, because it can pick up on and sense when there is enough strength from a cell tower. So maybe you're driving and sometimes you have cell coverage, sometimes you don't, and you're using this device, or you're on a trail where maybe there's 2 points at 2 high peaks where it does have cell coverage, but in the valleys it does not. And it will opt to, when possible, use cell towers over the satellite communication, therefore not charging you, which is really cool. So it won't cost you if it does have cell phone coverage, and it does do that on its own. That's not something you manually have to switch back and forth between. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to hit pricing, subscription options, as well as a discount that we were able to score for you guys, the viewers. But before we do that, now the battery life is pretty amazing. It's going to take only 2 hours to recharge it from 0. And from my experience, we were in the backcountry for 4 days. I had it on from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. on constantly, and we were doing lots of testing. We were doing the check-ins, we're doing the messaging, back and forth, making sure it's working every day, multiple times in all the different locations that we were doing. And I was able to, through the app, I can see the actual percentage. It was at about 55%, and I can just show you here, if you hit the power button for just a moment, it'll show you through the 4 lights there how much juice you have. So currently I have full juice. Each light represents 25%. So you can just tap it, you'll know how much battery life you have left. So based off of my experience with heavy usage, normally I would not have been using it to that extent. This would easily have been able to go for over a week without a recharge if I was doing a full week backpacking trip. Now, price was also a big determining factor on why I gravitated more towards the Zoleo than some of the other options that are out there in the satellite communicator market. The device itself is going to cost you $199, and then currently there's 3 different options for a monthly subscription. You can either do $20 a month for the basic, $35 a month for kind of the middle, and then you've got $50 a month for the premium subscription monthly package. Now, on top of that, there would normally be a $20 activation fee one time, but I've been able to work with Zoleo, and they're going to give you guys, the viewers, a coupon code, and that's going to waive that activation fee. And that's GT4 Zoleo. If you type that in when you activate, that will waive that $20 fee right out of the gate, which is awesome. So those subscription fees are very competitive with the other different satellite communicators that are out there on the market, and most other communicators for the device are going to usually be about $350 or more to purchase. So you're saving yourself quite a bit of money right out of the gate, and that's why I was like, you know what, if I'm going to commit to something like this, I'm watching all my pennies just like you guys are. What does this offer to pricing? And I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing, and I'm trusting what I'm seeing with the different capabilities of this Zoleo. But one other aspect, this is kind of just extra bonus to me, is for many of us, we go hiking and adventuring, or we have a season in the year where we would need to use this, but then there's like an off season where we just don't do a lot of outdoor activities. Maybe it's flaming hot because you're in southern Arizona and you don't go outside for 3-4 months out of the year, or maybe it's frigidly cold and you're in the high Rocky Mountains and it's better just to stay home and you wait till summertime to use the device. So what's so awesome is for $4 a month, that's right, the cost of a cup of coffee a month, you can park and put in a dormant mode your number and the device, so that you don't lose that number. You don't ever have to pay for a reactivation fee or anything like that. And then whenever you're ready to use it again, the season changes and you're ready to rock and roll, you just reactivate it, no fees, and you're able to use it again. And so that's why before I even reached out to Zoleo, I knew that this made sense for me financially in a year's cost of using a device like this. And thankfully, when I reached out to Zoleo, they were willing to work with us to give you guys that promo code, but also send this over to me so that I could test it out, review it, give you guys my perspective, show you what it can and cannot do. So you guys, when you are deciding on a satellite communicator, can make a good choice on whether or not the Zoleo device is right for you. So in conclusion, really, who is this device for? Well, for outdoorsy people like myself, that you do a lot of outdoor activities and you're already using your smartphone a lot anyway. I have all trails for not only finding new locations as we travel the country in our RV, but also I paid for the downloadable maps so I can use the maps and do all that. And so you're already using your smart device and you're looking for an extra layer that when the device is not in cell phone coverage, now you're able to communicate with loved ones, but also have that peace of mind with the SOS feature. But also for people who are in and out of cell phone coverage a lot, just in your daily living. Maybe you live in a rural area and you just want to stay in contact with loved ones and friends and family, or it's something that will help you out in your business, being able to communicate with clients. Number 3, just like me, guys, I'm always looking for things that are going to give me big value, big capability, but aren't going to break the bank. And this is going to be cheaper than a lot of those other devices to not only maintain, but also to initially get you into the game. And you're going to be ahead financially by using a Zoleo over many of the other options that are on the market. Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks so much for coming over today. I hope that this video has been fun and entertaining, but also giving you the data information that you need to make a wise choice if the Zoleo satellite communications device is the right tool for you to start using either in your gear loadout or just in your daily living for better communication, better peace of mind when you're out living life. So check out the other video popping up. I invite you to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber here at the channel. We're throwing up content like this every single week. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.